All right, welcome everybody to the Books by Adrian author platform. I am your host, Adrian Santiago, and I have a very special pop-up live stream for you guys today. If this is your first time on my channel, hello, I'm your host. I host a show called Livestream Sunday every Sunday morning. Every Sunday afternoon. I've only been doing it for almost 2 years. At 4 p.m. every Sunday. And we have about 4 episodes left in this, which is season 3. We interview authors and other creative people, and we discuss topics, and we take questions from the chat, and it's a lot of fun. And then there's a follow-up podcast on Thursdays. The video version is available on the same channel at 11 a.m. on Thursdays, but the audio version is available as of midnight that morning every Thursday. So you guys can check that out on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. All right, let's see here. We have a very special pop-up episode today. Like I said, it was poorly planned on my part, and I apologize to my guests for it. I should have done better, but they deserve better. But you know what? They're going to be back for Livestream Sunday season 4 anyway, so they're going to wow you guys with some stuff on that season as well. In the meantime, we're here to talk about a book called Flambeau, which they are putting out. We're talking, of course, about Sako Tumi, also known as Voit, and BC Brown, and of BC Brown Books. And they're putting out a fantasy thriller. And we're here to talk about the book, and we're here to watch the trailer, which I made for them. And we're here to talk about the making of the trailer. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun for the next hour or so. So I hope that everybody's ready. And let's go ahead and bring in our guests for today. All right, let me unmute you. All right. Hey, ladies, how you doing today? Sako, I'm going to give you the floor first, and then BC, you can follow up. Why don't you tell the folks at home who you are, where you're from, and what we're doing today? What do you got going on?
Howdy, neighbors. I'm Sako Tumi, also known as Voit. I'm a witch, and I write horror, and I'm a graphic designer, and sometimes I combine those 3 things. Today, I am joined by BC Brown and Adrian, and we are talking Flambeau and what went into making the trailer.
All right. Good times. BC Brown, how about you?
Hey weirdos, my name is BC Brown. My channel and all my socials are pretty much BC Brown Books. That's where you can find me getting weird about words in the ways that pretty much only a writer can. I write them. I talk about writing them a lot. So that's pretty much what I do. Yeah, joining Sako, also known as Voit, and Adrian here to talk about Flambeau, our new book that just dropped for pre-order yesterday, and kind of what went into it a little bit, and also more about the trailer, the fantastic trailer that Adrian did for us. And yeah, just going to have a lot of fun talking about the project in general.
It's going to be a good time. All right, well then let's go ahead and watch that trailer then. And we will probably replay it later on in the stream as well as more people show up. But let's go ahead and check it out. So I'm gonna go out on a limb here and guess that Flambeau has something to do with fire.
Yeah.
It's
Just a
related to
little.
fire in some way. Yeah, there's a theme I can sense. That was the trailer. Who wants to talk about the book and what it is, and then we'll get into all the trailer talk.
I've been tagged.
Hit
All
it.
right, so I guess I will. So yeah, Flambeau is a collaborative book project that Sako and I have been writing for the last year and some change. We've been doing it all on live streams, actually, here on AuthorTube, and everything from idea inception, plotting it out, outlining it, doing the beats, doing the actual writing itself, the edits, everything. The story itself is about this bounty hunter, Daisaku Watson. He's a Japanese American main character that we have that gets commissioned by the Mage Council of the world to track down. He basically tracks down human beings that have sold their souls to demons for power, called thralls. And a young girl, a 15-year-old girl, Justicia Torres, has demonstrated this kind of similar power to his own, Daisaku's own power, but also what is often related to being enthralled to a demon. And he needs to hunt her down and find out if she has sold her soul for power or if she's a natural mage with this inherent fire ability. And then there's a whole lot of just everything going on, a lot of other cool drama going on as well throughout the thriller.
It sounds awesome when you guys, well, Sako was the one corresponding in the beginning. Asked me to do the trailer, and you sent me the little blurb. I was like, that was dope. And not only that, but it also has like at least a couple elements, not that are exactly like my book, but similar enough that I go, oh, I see myself in this too. So like, this is cool. Like I'm gonna vibe with it. I can tell.
Yeah.
The book comes out December 11th. Yes, it is available for pre-order. The link that you see scrolling across the bottom is actually clickable in the description below. Ooh, it looks like we have somebody actually here. Who is it? Wi-Fi slowing down. It's Ginny. Hello.
Hey, Jenny. Jenny's been
Welcome,
one of our
Jenny.
biggest supporters for the last year and change while we've been writing this thing.
Ginny is everyone's biggest supporter. I mean, I see her everywhere, like just supporting the hell out of everybody, myself included. So Ginny's a saint. Look at that. She's on it.
Oh,
On
yeah.
point.
We
On
hit
point.
we hit that link in there. We dropped it once, and she's like, "Got it." I was like, "Okay."
I just like I love her to death. I don't know what she does all day. I just imagine that she's just like waiting for the thing and it pops up and she's like, got it, like like she just pounces on it. But I know, of course, she has things going on. She's a whole person who's like living a whole life. But it's just she's so supportive. I love it. Thank you, Jenny.
on
Thank
it,
you for being
yeah.
here.
Yeah, she really just prioritizes supporting
Yeah.
everyone. I think. Like,
Yeah,
makes
she's
it
the
a
best.
point.
She's the best. Sako, how did you get involved with BC Brown on this particular project? How did that whole thing like coalesce?
It was kind of fun. We were watching RK Gold and Savvy Writes books.
Mm-hmm.
We were watching them write Cancel Sean Boston, and they were televising, as it were, their entire process. And we were like, collaborative storytelling, and I'm here for it. I'm all about collaborative storytelling. And BC was also in the crowd, like watching them write this book. And we looked at each other and we're like, we should write a book together. Yes, we should. I think I have an idea. Okay, that sounds great. And then we start talking about the idea, and then I guess we're writing a book together.
Which is what's happening now.
Yeah, it was as quick as that. It really was as quick as that.
That's awesome.
It was kind of flippantly, and we didn't really talk beforehand.
Like, yeah, like you were writing a book before you knew you were writing a book together. Yeah.
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 And it just turned out that our processes were like somewhat similar, and
Yeah.
our voice is similar enough to where our like switching between what she was writing and what I was writing, like the
Mhm.
voice was consistent, and um we like our timing was on point, our file organization was on point, and our series Bible is super on point. And I think we got really lucky working with each other, because we didn't find out until like it actually came up, and it was funny when we got to the marketing, because I was like, hey, so if we're going to market, we're going to need an extra couple of months. And she was like, marketing. Oh, right. We should probably
Right.
do
There's
that,
a whole
right?
other phase to
Right.
this thing that we haven't been doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
And
just ironic
Yeah.
because
because
we're both marketers.
we're
Like,
both we both have backgrounds in marketing, and then we were like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
marketing.
you should you should have been all over that from the jump. It's funny though. Well, I mean, you guys already have your audiences on YouTube, and being that you're both marketers already, like expanding beyond that. I know that you both know how to do it and can do it, and will pull it off just fine. It's just funny that you guys didn't think about it right away. That's one of the first things that I thought about when I realized that I was writing a book that I was gonna publish. I was like, oh, like I know I'm still writing my first draft, but I should be promoting this thing because I want people to
yeah.
buy it
Yes.
when it comes out.
Yes, Adrian, you're doing it properly. I think Sako and I got a little swept up in
in
just
the
the
right, yeah, the
swept
thrill
up
of
in the
writing.
fun,
Mm.
the fun that we were having with each other, like going back and forth on the ideas, and then the input from the community during the live streams, which we just got.
Essential.
Yeah, we just got so swept up in all of that.
Yeah,
And I know, I'm not sure how it is for every writer, but I know for me, it does take a little bit into the zero draft, or the first draft, even before I'm sure that it's a viable project, like
yeah.
that it is going to come to full fruition, and can be turned into something to market. So I hesitate and usually build in extra months for that reason. And Sako and I had set an arbitrary deadline, but it was pretty easy to be fluid with it without like being disappointed.
Well, that's what I was wondering next is how you guys actually wrote the chapters, because every co-author duo does it different. And you've got your Neil Gaimans and Terry Pratchett's who just send stuff back and forth and rewrite each other's stuff so many times that they have no idea who wrote what. And
Right.
then you've got the other ones who you write this chapter and I'll write the next chapter, or you write this character and I'll write that character. Like how did you guys divide up this book? How did or
You
the
you know
work?
what's funny is that we actually did kind of a combination of both of those things.
Right
Yeah.
on.
So at first, I want to say that it was just like calling dibs. Like at first, it was just like we'd look at a certain beat and go, I really want to write this one, or I've really got an idea of how to write this one. Is it cool if I
Mm.
take it? And be like, yeah, sure. If you are going from there, then great. And then it was a matter of, as I was writing on one section of it, Sako would go back and she'd be reviewing what I had written on other sections, and she'd be adding to it or taking things out or doing minor edits, and making sure it aligned with stuff. And same as when she was working on things, I would be going back over her stuff as well as working on my other stuff. So it was a good combination of the two. But there were absolutely some areas where we're just like, yeah, absolutely, I want to write this section.
Mm.
But then it was both of us combing over stuff in multiple drafts, making sure that everything aligned, and that we were commenting back and forth with each other, and we were actually like just talking with each other over like Messenger or a video chat or whatever.
Yeah. I was working on a project with it was basically a writer's room. There was like four other dudes. We were all writing like the we were plotting, a big like graphic novel series together, and it was gonna fall on me to write the scripts afterwards. But while we were in that room, like just shooting ideas back and forth, and you know, uh, uh, pulling apart like plot holes, like somebody pitches an idea and I'm like, that doesn't work at all, and here's why. And you just rip it apart, and then they're like, okay, well, here's a better idea. And just finding those little gems that everybody gets really excited about, and you're like, oh, that's the one. This is what's going in the book.
Mm-hmm.
I can only imagine like what you guys have up your sleeve with this book. You know what I mean? Those
Mhm.
those moments you guys get really excited about.
Oh yeah. There were lots of the moments where we were just super excited with what we were doing and being like able to like I would start to say something and be like, okay, I think we can solve this that we're going with, and then Sako would go, oh, oh, oh,
I think you muted yourself, BC. I didn't hear what you said at the end there. What happened? We lost her audio. She'll figure it out. Taco, let's fill some time while she's figuring out her mic. So, what was each of your favorite character to write? Because I know that you guys have at least what, three main characters.
Two main characters,
Hmm.
which you portrayed beautifully. I we played both characters, but usually if one was writing Daisaku, the other was writing Justicia, and when one was writing Justicia, the other would would write Daisaku.
That back and forth is probably a lot of fun.
It
I
is.
whenever I would read interviews between Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett on writing Good Omens, like
Mhm.
I can't wait till I'm at, first of all, till I'm at their level where I can like write something that ridiculous like with another author back and forth like that. That's gonna be so much fun. Um,
I think that's the way to make something ridiculous
mhm.
and awesome is to the more brains that you have,
Yeah,
like, culminating on an
because you can just
idea.
keep topping each other. You know what I mean? Or
Exactly. What if, what if, what if, what
yeah,
if?
yeah, yeah. That's cool, but it would be better if, and then you just keep shooting for higher until you have this crazy idea. It happens by yourself too, as a right. Like when I figured out what I'm doing in the epilogue, um, I got so psyched. I was incredibly excited because I'm just like I'm going for the heartstrings. Like regardless of how my book ends in its final chapter, this epilogue, like I want to rip people's hearts out. I want them to throw their
Yeah.
book across. So like I'm going for it. So I don't know. It's gonna be kind of cool to see which of the moments that I was really excited for the readers get excited for once the book comes out. You know what I mean? I want to see like where the overlap is.
And I'm hoping to see that with our arcs, with our beta readers, with our readers, with this, like, soft release where I wanna find out exactly what are the scenes that people are really excited about, what are the characters that people are really excited about, and I
Yeah.
hope that they are as excited about, like, certain scenes and certain characters as I am.
Yeah. Yeah. What was like the critique partner and beta reader like phases like? Because the critique partners that I sent my stuff to, getting their feedback. I mean, for example, one of the most minor characters that I just threw into a chapter because I needed somebody for something specific became somebody's favorite a character, and before you know it, like their love of that character made me love that character, and now they're this huge part of the series. So I guess like yeah, like seeing what it is that people resonate to. What was the beta reader and critique partner face like?
Honestly, we were kind of each other's critique partner, um, and our first foray into having someone read our book, we went to Rose City Editing and had them do developmental edits. And for one, they really enjoyed reading it, which was definitely a sign that we were going in the right direction. And second, they filled all the plot holes that we were struggling with. So totally essential. We're doing some beta and some ARC and some sensitivity readers right now.
Nice.
And then
Yeah.
the sensitivity readers that we sent out to, so far the feedback that I've gotten from the sensitivity readers has been really positive. They only had a couple of very, very minor, more or less technical things, to mention or to bring up or to change. But otherwise, everyone has been, super happy with it. And not having too many problems. And we wanted to make sure it was a pretty diverse sensitivity group because we are writing other ethnicities. We are writing
Justicia.
Justicia. So we were writing her. I also needed to make sure that my rusty Spanish was being used properly in the way she, the kind of Spanglish that she uses, where she just kind of meshes it all together. And so I had to go through a few folks for that as well. We have a non-binary character. I wanted to make sure that they were properly represented. Sako was great on being able to come at it from the Japanese American standpoint and make sure we were writing at it properly from that angle. I'm very big on making sure that, because I do like to write diversity into stories, that I make sure that I always have sensitivity readers for all aspects if I can, that I can.
Right. Yeah. The whole sensitivity reader thing, that's going to be really interesting for me because I mean, this is my first novel and I have several members of the LGBTQ community like throughout my cast, from the top, to the smallest cast members. There's a whole bunch.
It's on the
So
list.
yeah, I definitely want to make sure that it's as accurate and respectful as possible because I'm just a straight dude with like a wife and a couple of kids. But it's I don't know, it's this thing where like you're reflecting the world around you, you have to, and then it's like I'm not necessarily a part of that community, but I feel like they're a part of mine. So like here we go, like let's throw them in there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like
It's
and
a big deal.
sensitivity readers. It's a big
Yeah,
one.
it is a big one. Well, don't worry about it too much. There are tons of groups out there where it's easy to find sensitivity readers,
yeah.
relatively easy to find sensitivity readers. If you need more LGBTQ, Adrian, tag me. I'll happily sensitivity read for
Awesome.
LGBTQ plus.
Ooh, I'm gonna send you my first few chapters and see what you think.
Okay.
Everybody ready for a replay of the trailer, and then we can start talking about this thing.
Yeah.
Let's check it out. We have some new people in the chat, so let's play for them. First, let's get all this crap off the screen. All right. All right, here we go. So that's the trailer for Flambeau, and I made it, and you guys gave me like, or Sako sent me the description of the book, some stuff about the characters, some images, and I ran with it. I saw a lot of fire, so I went with that. And I don't know, like what do you guys what jumped out about the trailer? What questions do you have about it? Like, hit me. What do you got?
So I mean, oh, so many things. Um, that I'm now drawing a blank on, of course. But no, the main things that that really jumped out with me was that I know we had sent over pictures and all of those things, but you really did just go ahead and like catch the key elements for the
Yeah.
book like right away with the fire and all of that stuff and being able to incorporate it all in. And I loved the simplicity actually behind it. I mean, yes, there was a lot of movement, but I didn't feel like it was being overdone in any way, which sometimes book trailers can get so cinematically overblown, like so many moving parts that it's just a little too stimulating.
Mm.
And I liked how simple it was in almost like a an FBI poster style presentation, which works well with the whole bounty hunter. And we do have a lot of law enforcement interaction and commentary within the story. And so I thought that was just great. Is what jumped out at me the most.
The simplicity thing you bring up, it was a very conscious choice because I agree with you. I see a lot of book trailers that go just way over the top, and I'm like, there's stuff written on the screen that you want me to read, and you've got like all this stuff going on everywhere, or you have actors like whatever it is that they're trying to do with their trailer. Like, I'm like, I want to know about the book, and you're treating it like it's a movie, and it's not a movie. You have to treat it like it's a book. So that's where that was coming from for me, for the sort of like, okay, like let's have a little movement, let's have some color in there, but let's get across like what this book is about as clearly as we can, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, I think Sako's muted. You're muted, Sako.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
I love that the characters, the way the blurbs were written and the way the blurbs were treated were very loyal, and the character profile for Daisaku um, is basically the first paragraph of the blurb, and making it kind of like an ID card, kind
Yeah.
of,
I try to
like
tighten it
really
up a little
stuck
bit
out
for
to me.
space sake, but yeah, yeah. It's basically like that first paragraph.
Also, the flood of fire and then the names that's all left behind. That's a really nice touch.
Yeah, the reveal there is nice.
Yeah. And it's slow enough that it gives people time to read the whole paragraph and still like see the name at the end. I
Yeah,
threw the demon in there because I know that there's a lot of like, sort of like supernatural elements to this thing, and from what I understand, he's almost like a little like a demon hunter kind of, bounty hunter.
yeah,
There's a nice little demon head in there for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was like, "Ooh, that's a nice little added, like subtle, very subtle."
Yes.
Yeah, I tried, especially in that middle there. Here, let me see if I can. Oh, I can't. Around the middle, like where the demon head comes up. There's actually like a lot going on here, so I
Yeah.
tried to layer it so it looked a little more subtle with the all the smoke and the clouds and stuff, like kind of making it so that it wasn't just a giant skull coming out at everybody.
I really like how you treated it.
It was a lot of fun. It was fun to put together, especially and I kept getting like Game of Thrones vibes, like like I kept hearing like the bass drop and the dragon like shooting fire at me
Yeah.
while I was making this thing.
Yes.
Ginny has a question. Was there any specific scene that you both wanted to be written differently from what the other wanted, and how did you compromise?
There weren't a lot of scenes that we disagreed on.
No, I mean, for the most part, I mean, when we went through it, you know, sometimes we would write a scene, of course, and we'd come back to it later after we'd written other scenes and went, "This is no longer necessary. Do you agree?" So that was actually pretty easy to agree on. I don't think there were any. I don't think we had any real conflicts or disputes about directions of scenes. Mostly we just had ideas. Like we would piggyback off of each other's ideas and just kind of we just keep that the ball rolling. Like I mentioned before.
Like the changes, because every once in a while BC would come up with like she'd be writing a scene and then it would deviate from the outline from the
Mhm.
beat sheet. And she's like, "Well, the character can do this now."
But yeah, but it would be
And
yeah, but
I
I'd
was
send
like,
it to
"Yeah,
her.
cool. All right."
Yeah, I'd
Like,
be like, the character can now do this? And yeah, Sako would be like, yeah, I like that. Let's
I
run
like
with
it.
it. Let's figure
Let's
out how to
roll with
do
it.
it. And
Yeah.
it's just it would be one of those surprised when you get surprised while you're writing because no matter how well you plot things, every writer gets surprised by
Oh yeah,
something the
yeah,
characters do or just the way your brain is moving that day. And yeah, it would just be I'd just be like typing along and been like, and I think it was even during some of the streams where I was writing it on camera and was like, "Well, y'all, I need to send a message to my co-writer because I have just written ourselves away from our beats and I need to make sure this is okay before I keep going."
yeah.
But yeah, there wasn't anything that we really conflicted over as far as nothing, as far as not even like the development or the way the characters held themselves or the tone or voice of the characters themselves or the way they spoke. Nothing
I
that we really conflicted over.
I feel like we kind of like, solidified a lot of that stuff in the beginning, as far as what kind of voice we wanted, what kind of like whether it was going to be in first person
Mm.
or in third or maybe even in second. Like we didn't know, and not until we actually like said, "Hey, past tense, third person, close." Like
Yeah.
definitely, like as long as we're consistent in that, like that'll be a lot easier in the editing phase
Yeah,
if we can be consistent
Yeah,
right off of the bat.
from the first draft, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's funny because it's I wonder if I have multiple personalities or if I'm a little bit schizophrenic because the way that you guys talk about the way that you work together is very similar to how I work completely by myself. because I'll plot out, I have outlines and I plot out my stuff, but then as I'm actually writing the chapters, I'm a little more of a pantser in that where like I know where I'm going, so I allow myself to kind of just go nuts and see what comes up and if it steers me in a different direction I'll go that way, but then just like you would have to like, oh, let me check and make sure if this is okay before I continue developing this idea further. That's when I pause and I go, let me go back to my outline and like shove all this stuff in there and like, kind of like play-doh mold everything around it and like, okay, now it's part of the story and it flows and okay, now I can go back and continue and now it's like part of the plan.
yeah, which is something that I do with my process as well, just
Mm.
on my own standalone. So it worked that
That
like
we
Sako,
both do
yeah,
it.
that we both do it. It worked that like Sako and I have mentioned, we a lot of people when they get together to do co-writing, they want to do it so badly that they but unfortunately their styles don't mesh. The way that
Mm.
they write, their processes don't mesh.
Yeah.
We got incredibly fortunate and lucked out that we just we either overlap or have very similar. We've learned a little bit from each other even on how to like fine tune our own personal stuff going forward after this. Like it's been a really lucky and awesome like process for us to go through.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so
it sounds like your collaboration happened very organically, and
It
so it
sure
looks like it
did.
was very easy for that to just continue. Whereas, if you're on a project where you have set up a whole bunch of the idea and you bring it to somebody else and you bring them into the project, well, that's a little different now, and there's like a balancing act that has to happen, and you guys have to find your groove and you have to find your trust and all that. it sounds like you guys from the very start, like you didn't even know that you were working together until you were already working together. So like,
Kind of.
yeah. So
Kind
it
of,
sounds like
yeah.
it just kind of melded. That's awesome. That's really
Yeah.
cool.
It started as like on RK and Savvy's stream. It just started as tongue in cheek, us showing, hey, I should collaboratively write a book together. That would be fun. Sako going, me, me, me,
Me,
me,
me,
me,
me,
me,
me,
me,
me,
me, me,
me, me, me, me, me.
and then like,
Ooh,
yeah, ooh, kind of a thing. And I
yeah.
was just like, yeah, sure, okay, yeah, I guess we're writing a story together now. Let's see it. She's like, I've got an idea. I was like, well, we're definitely writing a story together now because you've at least got something to go off of.
Yeah, let's jump in. Right on, man. That's dope. Who or where did the music come from? Because you guys sent me the music for that trailer, and I had to
Uh,
elongate it. But yes,
well,
where did that
White
come from?
Bat Audio does like DCMA, copyright free, like what's the word for it? It's industrial,
Dark
like chill
synth.
wave, dark synth, like sort of
Sure, yeah,
situation.
I can hear that. Yeah, it sounds
Yeah,
like almost like a saw grinding on like a drum with that, like
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
yeah.
totally.
I
That
wanted
like
something
really
a little
influenced the
metal,
trailer.
like a
Yeah,
little like scraping metal, and
it was one of the things
he
that you sent
delivered.
me, and as soon as I played it, I was like, oh well, I know exactly what this trailer is. Like I see it in it, but when I hear this music, you know what I mean? It was right there.
Yeah,
It was right
yeah.
there. It was
I
dope.
was also honored. So the trailer itself was also a little bit of a collaboration in
Oh yeah.
that uh, BC wrote the copy, and I just like drew up uh, storyboards, and
I forgot about the
we,
storyboards. You did give
yeah,
me
the
some.
storyboards, um, which I wasn't super married to. I which I think was a benefit in my regard because Adrian was like, "How married to this are you?
Yeah,
Can I
it's what.
deviate from this a little bit?" And
Yeah,
I was
because
like, "Because
because
I had a
I
lot of content. I had a lot of content for,
yeah, you had a lot of written word to fit on the page. So you were seeing like these freeze frames of your characters and like a bunch of text, and I'm like, that's what you usually see in book trailers. But like I'm listening to the music, and I'm like, that's not what this music is. This music is something.
yeah,
This music is more hardcore. Like let's follow that. So that was my first question to you. Is as soon as I saw those storyboards, I was like, how married are you to these? Can I just not do these?
yeah, and like I didn't want to feel like I was doing it alone, right? Especially when coming up with the concept
Oh yeah.
for the trailer. Uh, it was uh, it was really an honor to work with you on this,
Oh,
and
my pleasure.
I'm really happy with the end product.
Oh my
I'm,
god, no.
It's really great.
I was so nervous the first time I sent you that, like the first draft. I was just like, what if she hates it? And then you were like, I'm not crazy about like the color on the font, but everything else is cool. And I'm like, okay, I can fix the font. Like that's easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was into it. What's man, what was I gonna say about that too? In making the trailer. Oh yeah, the back and forth between us was very easy as well. A couple of notes from you in the beginning, and then nothing really from BC Brown. She thought she saw something, and then she convinced herself that she didn't.
I
So
was yeah, tired eyes, and then I was like, nope, I'm good. Never mind.
um yeah, like I don't know, it was cool, it was fun, it didn't take too long, which was great. And I'm really happy with it. I'm glad that you guys like it.
Yeah,
um
and it was nice because at the same time Sako was working with you closely on the trailer, I was frantically trying to do the cover art and get it to align,
Nice.
and so it's so that it met what Sako and I like,
Hmm.
as well as what kind of meets the genre itself,
Hmm.
and also had to go in with my existing series, and the book cover redesigns for those. So
Okay.
that was all trying to get it to. So I was like, oh, I'm so glad that she and he are just taking point on that because I have no input at this point. My eyes are mush by the end of the day. Like bright,
Yeah.
I'm Jello at the end of the day.
Yeah, that sounds like a rough day. That's a lot. It's definitely a lot. It's a lot of layers to like fit into a book cover. Um,
Yeah.
did you guys already do the cover reveal or not yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
You did.
We did. But and yeah, it's there on the link. For the pre-order, people can see it. We
Oh,
did
right.
the book.
Of course.
We went ahead and did the book reveal before the pre-release party yesterday.
Cool.
Just because well, one, we were super excited about it and like
As
dying
as
to
you
show
do.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then also that way we could advertise with it. Pre-advertise even in advance of the pre-release with it. So.
Yeah.
Right on. Any other thoughts or anecdotes about the trailer or the book that you guys wanted to share today? I don't know. I feel like playing the trailer again before we leave. But what do you guys think? Parting thoughts.
I
I will.
feel like the process was really nice in that I actually got to use a skill set that I went to school for, with the
Always a plus.
storyboards, with the character designs, with the like it was really nice not to be burdened with the cover design and just be able to put in my 2 cents on BC's hard work. And I feel like I was validated.
My degree is validated.
My degree is validated.
I didn't waste all that money.
I
It
didn't
actually
waste all that
it paid
money.
off. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, no, I didn't have any, you know, real. I was so, the process was so, I was so grateful for, Sako having that experience because I put together a cheesy book trailer a long time ago, for the series based on my limited skills type of thing.
Mm.
And yours way better. Yours is way better. And so between the two of you being able to, just bounce off of each other and make it go back and forth and make it work, I was so grateful for that and so thrilled when you just sent us the opening clip of the Hella's recruiting and I was
I
like
couldn't wait. I had to send it. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm like I have no I just want to see where he goes with this. I have no
Yeah.
input at this point cuz this is perfect so far.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the first animation I made. As soon as I got everything and I got the music and the first animation I made was that one. I was like, yeah, this I gotta show them where I'm going because this is dope.
Yes.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. And I'm just making this stuff up as I go along. By the way, I don't have any like training in video editing. I'm figuring it out as I go. It's just fun. It's fun to play with. It's like video games or something.
I also, as a weird note, I like the wavering embers that are hanging out in the background.
Yeah.
So it provides just enough jiggle,
Yeah.
but
So that it's
it's
not
not
like
so
I didn't.
distracting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't want like a stagnant image. Like I needed some movement. If you'll notice, the pictures of the characters are also sort of like moving
Liquid or
as if there's
heat.
heat.
Yeah.
Exactly, like the sort of like wiggle that you get from heat.
Yeah.
Especially Justicia, she's really like kind of like vibing in there with the fire and stuff. So like I like the way that they turned out. That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, the
Ladies,
only
this
thing
was great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say the only thing I can say about the whole process is the character art. That is all Sako. So she did such a phenomenal job. So if you need character art, you need to talk to Sako because it turned out beautiful. And if people need book trailers, they need to talk to you.
Oh boy.
So I'm just saying.
Ladies, thank you so much for coming on my channel. This was a short and sweet one, but I'm going to have you both back on for season 4 of Livestream Sunday so we can talk about the release of Flambeau, how it went. At that point, it will have been in your rearview mirror and what you'll have coming up next. In the meantime, everybody who was in the chat, Jenny, thank you so much for being first through the door. Thank you so much for all your support. Everybody else, Spence, Devin, Christina, thank you all for coming. and be back on Thursday for more with Collective Tales. We'll do the podcast on Thursday, and then Livestream Sunday comes back around on Sunday, as per usual. So I'll see you guys all there at 4 p.m. on Sunday. Thank you guys again, and have a great day. Oh, we do have a closing animation. I can't do that. I can't do that much. All right, y'all. Peace.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.